Good morning. Welcome to beautiful Kent, Washington, where I'm about to start moving some metal, doing our beginner project here. But first, I'm going to take you to the anvil real quick. Let me see if this is going to work. Nope. Looks like my stream deck is out of commission today, so I'll be doing things a little the old-fashioned way by just reaching over and trying to figure out where my mouse disappeared to again, and hitting the clicking the things there. So, anvil focus. Just wanted to share that my neighbor is awesome. I made her those hooks last week. Well, them, her husband and she, and they showed me the stockpile. Hey, evening, Paul. They showed me their stockpile of scrap steel they have there at their farm, and said I'm welcome to it. I don't know what these pieces are. This obviously had something pressed on the ends. This is a piece of hex steel. So again, no idea what it's for. And this was just a nice big long piece of rod. Let me just put it over to the Smithy so I can back up and show it. Not terribly long, but long enough that I can do some things with it. So I'll end up putting them down underneath my, switch to anvil focus real quick here, and I will just show you underneath the forge there where I keep my steel. I'll just put it on all under there for the moment. Until I figure out what I'm going to do with those things. I definitely need to make some chisels in an upcoming hour or two for some work I want to do. Let's go ahead and we'll put it there for now, and then we'll figure it out from there. Pull back. There we go. I turned my anvil around. It's not just the camera that's been turned. With the because the talk on the town is it is better to have your horn towards your tong hand. So I figure I'll give it a try. I've said it before. I don't know what I'm doing. I watch other people do it and pick up skills by that. Doesn't mean I know what I'm doing. So as I learn little bits, you'll see me put them to use and see if it makes a difference to me. And I do need the glove this morning. This is a short piece of steel. That heat's going to travel. But we'll start like we always do. We'll get over here. We'll clean up this tip from the last time go ahead and nip off that tip. Yep. As you can see, I've got a nice sharp edge there, and as long as I'm not being stupid about how I use it with my hammer is not going to get hurt. We're getting a nice sharp taper on the end here. Pull it back just a little bit. There we go. Back into the fire. Got a nice hot fire. You can virtually warm yourself by. keep hammer hand away from the hardy. Yeah, I've seen it both ways, and I've often seen people talk about the fact that their hammer hands by that hardy, and you shouldn't do that. It's again, it's bad form, etc., etc. Just remove the hardy tool when you're done. I'm going to try it both ways. I could see the point where I read somebody said the tong hand, and then you're not going to have to go, and they're right. The way I do it right now, I end up having to come around my anvil. Here. Smithy focus. We'll bring it over and show you what I mean. So I end up having to cut, with the way it was before over on this side, I'd end up having to come around the anvil to be able to do anything with it. At least on this side, I can stay on this side of the anvil and do my work around it. We'll see how that works out. Here. Oh, of course, I do have to change my whole process because of it. It's all on the wrong side of my head at this point. And there we got a nice transition. Start that setting off. All right, let's continue that. Leaf's a great beginner project. What's the time there? It is currently 10 minutes after 9 a.m. and we're Pacific time here. Yeah, the correct is a funny thing, right? We get drilled through our childhood to think about things being correct. Let's switch it over. And I can tell you, I ended up with some bad ideas for that as I grew into adulthood. I think a lot of adults carry that forward. They don't ever actually mature past the idea that there's a correct. There's no such thing as correct. This is a universe that doesn't know anything about correct. It's just what is. And there's efficient. We can go there. There's pleasurable. We can go there. And pleasurable's not universal. There are some people out there that find being derided pleasurable. And there are some people out there who the only pleasure they get is riding roller coasters. Who's to say what's right? It's a very stilted, immature way of looking at things. Let's go ahead and clean this up. It's just about perfect. Now we're going to round it up. I'm going to make a little bit more of a transition at the end there, and then round. Come into, yeah. it does the same thing here. We're really far north, the furthest north I've ever lived, and surprisingly nicer than any of the other northern places I've lived as far as temperate zones go. And our sunset in our summer isn't until nearly 9 o'clock, and because of the tilt of the earth, we end up with light in the sky until just after 10 o'clock. So you can't even do fireworks, 4th of July fireworks, the American tradition, until roughly 10 o'clock at night. And it means that this fella, who's always been early to bed, has never been one to see fireworks except on TV here in the state of Washington. I'm not lamenting it. I really don't care enough. Saw enough fireworks living in Orlando. 2:13 in the morning. See, I would have been. That is about the time when I'm waking up to visit the bathroom in the middle of the night. That is not a time to still be awake for me. All right, take those corners off. Round it up where it's warm. Let's move it up and do it again. Hey Rob, how goes it? That's about round enough. All right. Let's make that little end bit a leaf. Oh yeah, good day when I can come out here, see the sun, feel the cool breeze. What does it say it is right now? We are, is that really true? Let's hit that. Yeah, I was gonna say that's not right. 58 degrees, which to me, especially with long sleeves out by a fire, is perfect. That would be freedom units. I'm not sure. The conversion for me to Celsius is hard to do. You guys are sitting in front of a computer, so I'll leave it up to you. The only thing I don't like is it it. Let's see, how am I going to do this? It bent the leaf in a place I didn't want it to. I know how I'm going to fix it, I think, but try it this way. That can do it. That's interesting how it did that. I am not even showing you something cool, so let's show you something cool. Looking at my ugly face. So, there we go. Now, the light's awful. The light is awful. Here. You don't need to see me for that moment. Let's get you some real light. Actually, I know what I can do, light-wise. I'll take this off of here. There we go. Look at that. It's got that kink in there. I'm not real happy about the kink in there. Not sure what I'm going to do about it, but I'm not happy about it. All right, let's do it this way. I don't need this right this second. Does that give me what I need? Not really. I'm going to end up having to move the whole Smithy around just so I can stop having the sun at my back. Yeah, there you go. All right. I'm going to heat that up just a hair. Grab another set of tongs. I think what I need to do is just have 2 sets of tongs. Blow out that coal dust and ash from starting the fire with charcoal. Get some good airflow. Smell that sulfur. Ah, hit my nose good that time. Well, that's not working the way I want. I'm not sure how to fix this. Or I leave it as a, there we go, that did it. Probably should have just put it in the vise and that would have been the way to do it. Still has a little bit, but I think that actually looks pretty decent. We'll go ahead and get it off the, well actually, yeah, we'll get it off the stock piece here, put a scroll on the end, and then careful not to burn it off. I'm probably overly cautious with the number of times I've done it. Morning, Daniel. All right. There's that. What I'm doing is just taking advantage of the fact that I got it still stuck on the end. Twist it off. There we go. Nice little tendril twist on the end there. All right, cool that off. Let's scrub that off real quick while I've got it straight. It's about the time when it's about to go whizzing across the yard. Okay, I was worried that I had a little burnt spot there, but it was just a little bit of stuck on coke. No problem. All right. Get that tendril just a little bit more of a stroll now. So for anybody who trips along on my stream after the fact, the first 30 minutes of the show is just about the same every single time. Well, except for the fact that I'll go off on a tangent that is completely different every single time. But it's making one of these leaves. Feel free to join after the first 30 minutes, but I appreciate you being here if you're before that, because it definitely helps with the channel getting seen by more folks out there. Let's see, how pretty can I make this? Because that's all it's about for me. We'll go into utilitarian with the next project. I'm going to make some more of those hooks. I'm glad my neighbor got my eye on those, because I had completely overlooked that that would be a perfect solution for keeping my donkey out of my smithy. She loves coming in here and seeing if there's any goodies in here for her to eat. Mainly because, hey, beautiful, that's my wife. She's great. And I need my straight peen behind me. One of the benefits of working in an extremely small space. Just warm it up just a hair more. It'll bend easier if I do. There we go. Come over here. Come on. There we go. Don't drop it. All right. But those hooks that I made last week turns out to be the perfect thing to close up my shop. because I can have 3 of those for my my Dutch doors and my French doors. I got French doors on the bottom, Dutch doors on top. There we go. There we go. Give the leaf a little bit of... Just realized that I made that thick. There we go. Now it's a safety device. I don't know if anybody notices that, but that is part of the point of this, is to turn it into a safety device. All right. Point. No pun intended. All right. Now to turn it into a loop. I think I'm going to loop it around this way this time. I think that with the stem coming off the leaf this way, it would look pretty if the loop went around that way. Yeah. Let's take you over to the vise. Let's make it look at the vise. Did we see the vise? Hey, look at that. It's the vise. Of course, this went off. And now we should be able to see the vise. There we go. That's just been soaking in there. Give it a little bit of the heat. Doesn't need to be a lot. Well, hello, chickens. That's my bantam crowd coming to visit me. All right. We'll come in here. We'll start bending things around. I'm still not thinking that this is the right shape for this jig for this work, but it's perfect for the next work I have to do, so we'll come back over here and finish it over here. That part needs to hit the fire now. We'll go in like that. Don't jinx me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Who said that? They shared out the stream. Thank you, Daniel. I do appreciate anybody who shares the stream. Help folks out there realize this is something they can do. If I can do it, they can do it, right? That's the idea. And I just realized I went under when I meant to go over, so we fix that. We go here, we open it up just a hair, so I can do that. And I'm starting to think I do like having the horn on this side. Come over here, tap it down, make it go where I want it. There we go. Almost dropped it. Didn't drop it on the ground. You know, I don't need to wear this glove anymore. Then I can have my dexterity back again. Hello, big guy. Here, you gotta see this, because he's beautiful. My wife doesn't like him, but I don't blame her. He's a nuisance. Hello, big guy. Isn't he pretty? He's a pretty boy. He will throw feet at you faster than you can blink. Doesn't accomplish much when he does that, but he tries. All right, back in the fire. Warm it up. In this case, for moving it, yeah, you're right. In this case, for for the little delicate work that I'm doing, not like I'm trying to draw out or upset or any of those kind of things. Even with upsetting, I think you're supposed to use a lighter hammer, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there we go. I'm using the wrong side of the hammer, but that is putting it right where I want it. There we go. We are feature complete, as we say in the software world. Done. Now we move on to the project, the other project. Need to make some of those hooks. And of course, it would be good if I put it on the side of the anvil that actually gets seen most by the camera. There we go. We'll even force the camera to autofocus. There we go. Then we'll go even one step further. Light it up a little. Did that help? It did. Look at that. You don't need to see my face any better than it's being seen, but light that anvil. That works much better. All right. Yes. All right, I am happy with that. Now to, there it is. Switch over to some 1/4-inch square stock and make those hooks. For anybody who wasn't around last week, I'll pop up a picture of the hook, especially considering I need a reminder exactly how I want it to look anyway, since I gave them my other pieces. Break up this, turn it a little. There we go. We'll go to the big chat screen real quick. There's what we're making. I need to make 2 more for them, and then I need 3 for myself. So I have enough steel here to do that pretty easily, I think. Yeah. That was a buzz around my ear. I'm not too worried about any of the buzzy things around until they get right at my ear. What am I going... I was looking over here for something. I'll come back to it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to measure off some stuff. I need my marking pencil. I'll go ahead and switch back to the anvil to show what I'm marking. I actually did a piss poor job of finishing up my hook ruler in that I didn't cut it where I was supposed to, but it's a hook ruler. I John Switzer Black Bear Forge. And so now it hooks. It's not unwieldy. And I can come right over here and mark off 4 1/4, 4 1/2. And then I can just basically decide which of those two look best to me. And what I need now is just a better place to store it. But it stays right there at the moment. Oh, right. I need to establish a moderator. That's for sure. That was a strange moment there at the end of the last stream. I have nothing against a fella who's gay. I've got gay friends, but I do have something against a troll coming in and deciding that this is his channel to play with instead of enjoy the actual content. As there seems to be no risk of me dropping anything anytime soon, I'd recommend anybody doing hot work take a moment to hydrate, as I just did, and I realized there was a step I forgot to do here. Couple of steps. That's just clean it up, and this time you get to listen because I can't find my mute button easily enough. Flip it around. All right, ADHD is a bitch. About the only person that it annoys more than the person who's dealing with it, living with it as part of their own personality, is the loved ones that have to live with it next to them and have no idea what they're dealing with. All right. But it is annoying to those of us who have it too. Believe me. Because you start to do something and then you forget why you went to do that thing. All right. Let's see if that's warm enough to... And I will take... I don't remember who said it last week, but somebody had recommended doing that wax over a bowl. And it's like, well, I keep my wax in a bowl. That makes a lot of sense. Why didn't I think about that sooner? Because I'm smart, but sometimes not smart enough. All right. It is nicely covered. Let's go ahead and lay it back on the... Well, let's toast it like a marshmallow. Just like curing your cast iron skillet. Gotta bake it a little. You see the smoke coming off of it? That's basically what you need off your cast iron skillet too. We can go ahead and leave that on the edge there, cooling off, while I work on getting the other piece ready. Oh, it's already ready. All right, good. Let's go ahead and carefully move this. Excuse me. That soda got me. But for those of you who are, viewers of the channel, ADHD is probably quite entertaining. You never know what's going to happen next. And I need my hammer that I set down where? Did I hide it under my glove? No. There it is. It's right in front of my face. Blindness. Situational blindness. Put a nice tip on the end there. As we can recall from looking at that, we got to have a tip. Then I'm going to go ahead and center it. It probably didn't need to be as pointed as all that now that I see it. I might keep this one as mine. Pull that bevel back a little bit. There we go. Nice, nice. Then we got to bend it over. Hang your angle ruler with the shed key. Oh, that's a good idea. Except that it's way then over there. And I'll forget that it's there. We'll see. Okay, so draw it. Draw what? Let me make sure I'm, oh, you're talking about draw what the hook looks like? I could do that. But once I get one done, I really don't need to have it drawn in front of me anymore because I got the hook. So we'll go back over to the angle, there. No key, no walls. How can I install a door? Well, my Smithy is actually a lovely pavilion we saw at Costco one day. Little 14 by 14 cedar pavilion with a metal roof. And then one day I was like, it would be great if I could actually work out there while the wind is blowing and the rain is going, you know, because, you know, Seattle. And it dawned on me, there's a simple way to make that happen. There we go, there's the hook part. Put a flare on the end. I think I know what the flare is for. It prevents the hook from popping out as easily. Or it just looks pretty. There's that part. And there's the length I'm going for. Okay. Let's get that deep into the fire. We do get freezes here, but when it's raining and the wind is blowing, it's just dreary, and it gets cold enough to be annoying. So it's nice to close up shop, and that's what I did. Is I closed it. Well, I didn't. We have an amazing neighbor. I don't say that nearly enough to him because there's no way to say it nearly enough to him. All right. But great handyman. He's built an amazing deck for us that my wife gave him the rough idea, and then he went and designed it and built it. And then the same thing happened here. I had a rough idea of what I wanted, and then he built it. And so now I have French doors for the bottom half of the Smithy on 3 sides, and Dutch doors for the top half of the Smithy. And then on the 4th side is a tough shed, or basically a shed that a little bit sturdier than the ones I would build. Tough Shed here is a brand in case you're from down under and don't have that brand there. But it also is a good description of why a Tough Shed's worth paying for. That's the way it felt in Florida. And then you also have folks here in Seattle who do that. So also the rain here isn't as bad as I thought it would be. All right, switch over to Vice. And bend that around. This just happens to be just the right size for the loop I need. So it actually works as a mandrel. Just trying not to burn myself. Put it back in the heat. It's not as smooth around as I'd like it to be, and this whole thing is tipped on me. There we go. Yeah, we moved from Orlando, Florida, which is, you know, Australia light. It's like the place in America you go if you want to do a mini boot camp for what you might have when you go to Australia. And if you can't hack it there, you're definitely not going to hack it in Australia. Finish pulling it all the way around. There we go. There's my loop. There's my loop. Now I just need to quench it and cut it off. But before I do that, let's get a twist in here. Twist and shout like we did last summer. Or, you know what? No, I'm going to quench it and cut it off because I can't get it back into my forge easily otherwise. We'll break out that cute little bandsaw I got. I'm going for the wrong part. Let's try and go for the right part. There we go. I can't get a good angle for you guys, so you'll just have to not see it. There we go. Now that it's hooked on my saw, I'll go ahead and put this back in because I'm going to make another one. There we go. I mean, that's a good sign because it means I actually got it so it lines up nice. Let's go ahead and put that back in the fire. Close it up. Get ready for a twist. Yeah. Oh, 30s are a little warmer than I like, I can tell you that. I'm very much more comfortable in the 20s. And I say that, having joked earlier about freedom units, I don't know Celsius real well, but that's one of those numbers I do know. I wish I did know it better, but we got some folks here in the States that just cannot get behind change to, even when that change is for a better system. Healthcare. There's the sound I need. All that needs is to be brought down in line. There we go. Now we need to put it a little deeper so we can get a nice twist. Of course, I'm going to lose my piece. Let's see if I can prevent that. Leave the tong on there. We'll go over here and we'll start the next one. All right. Draw it back. Nice. Center it. There we go. Ben. What did I do? Some of my fondest memory are from the Netherlands when I was 10 years old, 8 years old, 8 to 10 years old. I lived there. There was a Air Force base there called Camp New Amsterdam. That's not what I meant. I know that healthcare uses metric. I'm talking about the fact that there's some things we can't seem to change even though it's better because we resist change. As in, you know, a healthcare system that isn't for profit. Huh? My wife decided to come visit me at the Smithy and call me a bonehead.
Because healthcare uses metric.
Healthcare does use metric. Yeah, Americans are resistant to change. What can you do? Yeah, see, that was what I didn't like about Florida. And I know that Florida and 32 sounds about right, maybe 35, but Florida was so humid.
Florida was more 39, 40.
Did we get up to 40 degrees in the summer, Celsius? Oh, down in South Florida especially, but Orlando wasn't quite that bad. All right, let's get this pretty twist in. Of course, I neglected to actually set up for a twist. Let's do that real quick. There we go. Size that. We'll go over here. We'll knock this over. He's not going on in my forge.
Please?
No, it's not a cooking device. Well, unless what we're cooking is steel.
Please?
No. I like Tweedledum and Tweedledee. I think they're pretty.
They're now attacking the pretty black rooster.
Oh, are they?
Yep.
Yeah, that won't work. Of course, the pretty black roosters are jerks too. Getting close to where I want to be. Need to pull some coal on top of this Coke. It really is. There's so much to benefit from metric. It made all the sense in the world in school, but then you get into the real world and they aren't using it, and except in specific situations, like my wife said. In medicine, it's all metric. They're all doing cc's or ml's since they're the same thing. Never did understand why they like to talk cc's versus ml's when it comes to liquids. All right, now we should have enough in there to get the temperature where I want it. This is wild to know that I've got a person in the Netherlands and a person in Australia, both on a channel that's in the Pacific Northwest at the same time, for my little channel nonetheless. That's awesome to know that the love of this craft is a worldwide thing. I knew that, but I didn't know the community until I started making the time to hang out in the Sunday morning stream on Island Metal Forge. All right, it's definitely hot enough to twist. It's just. Is that the one that's been having the hard molt? All right. Camera gets in the way. And one more half turn. There we go. Get it to align with the loop. That is one done. That took way too long. There we go. Need this opened up for the next one. That means what I really need, if I were to ever actually get to making a bunch of these, which my neighbor suggested I actually consider doing for the purposes of selling to farmers in the area, then I should probably take that U that I have there. Yeah, it's pretty straight. And put it onto, weld it onto a shank that could fit into this hardy hole. I've got just such a shank already made. I just gotta cut it off and bring it over for that purpose. And then I could use the vise for twisting and the hardy tool for bending and not have to go back and forth. So, but that is, let me bring you over. That is one complete. Let me brush it off. whip it around, finish the brushing. All right, and set it on top of the fire, warm it up, grab my wax, take a look at the other piece that I had sitting there. It blackened up and real pretty. There we go, that's done, and now it can go in my pocket. Let's see. Put a loop on that, sell it. Well, or give it away. Most of the time I'm giving them away. Where are we at here? Good. Let's get over here. Nothing better for the lungs than a nose full of beeswax smoke. So where I got my start doing this, because people always ask me that, was hanging out with a bunch of Renaissance reenactors. My wife introduced me to her friends when we were first dating, and that was their hobby. And when they reenacted, they actually put on real armor and hit each other with real swords, hammers, and the such. And I was like, nope, that's fun to watch. I'm not doing that. They also did archery, so I did a bit of archery. But then there was a few folks out there that were doing leather and tapestry and blacksmithing, and immediately, as I've always been drawn to the blacksmiths and the glass blowers, wherever I happen to be, that they exist. I went and hung out with those guys and gals. And I stood there and I watched for a while, a couple of seasons anyway. And then, you know, they always asked me, would you like to give it a try? And I was always like, no, I can't do that. Which is why I do this channel, because that's hard. That is definitely not Coke. Let's pull that out. That's clinker. Go ahead and toss that on the ground. All right. I do this channel because nobody should be so foolish as me and stand there saying, no, I can't do that. Sledgehammer. Huh. A 10-pound hammer. What's he having to persuade with a 10-pound hammer on a car? I watch a lot of those shows that where they're rebuilding old cars, making muscle cars, etc., etc. I don't think I've ever seen anybody break out a 10-pound hammer, so I'm curious. Just realized I'm heating up the wrong part. I need this deeper in there. It's time for the loop, not the, which means it's time for the glove again. Don't need this, not yet. Well, I will though. Where's my mark? There it is. Right there. All right. I would love to see this hammer. I've never heard of a slide hammer, and I'm probably picturing what you're saying the wrong way. Okay, cool that off. Bend that around. Stay there. All right, there we go. Oh, I had the best angle the first time. That is some hot metal. Stay there. Let's heat it up some more though. But the heat's, I'm feeling the heat through the glove. It reminds me, for anybody who ever wants to come out for a visit on the Smithy, the first thing you have to tell me is what the first rule of blacksmithing is. I kind of figure a smith knows this, but if you've come to my channel as a non-smith, then it's important that you know what that first rule is. Okay, good. I hear the right sound. It's interesting to me that just having air move makes one sound. Having air move that's actually causing the coke to burn up makes a different jet kind of sound. All right. There we go. There's the loop I want. Whew. Yep. touch the hot part with the glove. That'll do it. All right, cool it off. Don't get your glove wet. If you ever are going to wear a glove when forging, do not get the glove wet. You will give yourself steam burns. Move that and that. Clearly I came in at a different angle this time. Wrapped it around the opposite side this time. There we go. And that is a piece that is now too short for me to do anything with at the moment. Without tongs anyway. Grab that piece that fell on the ground. Hope it didn't touch one of my wires. And it fell on the ground. I know it fell on the ground. Oh, no it didn't. Didn't make it to the ground. There we go. That loop isn't quite as pretty as the other one, so I might do some moving on it. But we can do that right now. Break out the tongs, take off the glove. Do you use a traditional, single or double chambered pump bellows, or do you do a rotary bellows like mine? Yeah, I mean, this forge is meant to be a wood-burning forge anyway. Yeah, there we go. So, if that comes, I have yet to buy coal, so this is my first use of coal given to me by a friend. So, he's absolutely right. It is a much nicer fuel to work with than wood, charcoal. But this forge was meant to be able to forge with wood, scrap wood, wood from down tree limbs, things like that. So I can always switch back to that if I have a problem getting more coal. But I also happen to live in coal country. Pacific Northwest is known for being coal country. I just don't know if they're mining it anymore. Coal has definitely gone out of style for most uses, so yes, and that's what I learned on. That style of bellows is the type of bellows I learned on. Just lock that in there. I'm not even going to quench. And give it a twist, or 3. 1. 2. And of course, I can't get it, because of the camera, I can't get it all the way around without taking it off. So there we go. Get it straight with the loop, and another one done. That takes care of the 2 I had to get done for them. Now I can make a few for myself. Put that down there. And on the ground it goes. Must mean it's time to get a drink. Man, I was so impressed with Roy's beating on a piece of, what did he say it was? Tractor, dozer. That's it. Dozer arm. Of course, his treadle hammer was impressive. And at some point, I hope to throw some money at him for one of those. But how hot they had to get that thing to be able to do the work they did was what was really impressive to me. So hot that working on it on his anvil, he had to cool it off. I wonder if that anvil warped it all from that. Should have asked. And so hot that his flatter handle wasn't catching fire, but it was smoking and burning, smoldering. All right, that's done. Let's see about wax. Not hot enough. Let's make it hot enough. Yeah, it was a giant chunk of steel indeed. Uh-oh, what's Stream Elements doing now? Yeah, I don't want to go back to charcoal either. Not because of it being expensive. Like I said, it's all scrap wood for me. But it's just so much nicer working with coal. And to rinse off the lump of wax I'm working with, and dropped it on the ground so get a little extra sizzle in our bacon here. Well, after the troll we had last week, I'm glad Steam Elements has actually proven it's still doing something. I was under the impression that was what Stream Elements was supposed to be doing for me. So, all right, so that's another one done. Go ahead and put it aside. Let's see, how does it compare to my other one? Pretty comparable, I have to say. Let me switch back over to where you guys can see it, because nobody can see what I'm doing. But yeah, pretty comparable. All right, I've decided I don't like this camera angle. I'm going to have to do something about it. There we go. So, I can't remember which one's hot, so we're going to go with the rule, all metal's hot. I think I can tell by looking at it, but I'm not going to risk it. We'll just let it sit there and work on the next one. Need that in a little bit. Don't need this anymore at all, so we can put away those tongs. And break out a new piece of steel. Newer. Go ahead and get my tool rest a little bit higher. There we go. Stream Elements. Okay, so I use a few different pieces of tech here. Obviously, you know the cameras and the lighting, but the lighting's not all that useful considering the sun is overpowering it all. But I also use Restream.io to get the streams out to various different places. It was originally just so I could have it both on YouTube and Facebook, because I have friends and family who don't YouTube. I have friends and family who don't Facebook. So I had to figure out what I'm going to do about it so I could get friends and family to be able to jump on and enjoy. So that was why I used Restream. Then I realized, oh, well, I can also throw it out to my Twitter accounts and my Twitch and my LinkedIn. And frankly, it's resulted in a bunch of old friends and acquaintances in LinkedIn to come along and see the stuff I'm doing. And then Stream Elements is tooling to give you the scene layout that you see here. It also allows me to put the chat window in the stream, so you know, it's fun to be able to be able to see that that chat, especially since it's cross-platform chat, right? You could have folks on Facebook who are chatting and folks that are on YouTube that are chatting. So that's why I did that. It's also something that I'll immediately turn off if I see a troll come by again, so I don't have to have that in my video feed any further. What else? And then the other thing Stream Elements does is it has a bot running in the background, and Kevin, also known as Trail Dust, has been put in timeout a couple of times for reasons we've never been able to understand. When Stream Elements feels there's something that shouldn't have been said, I guess. So. Oh yeah, was it? I missed that. Yeah, I have not had. I have to say I've been very fortunate with the first bag of coal I was given. I was given 2 bags, and there's been precious few bits of oh, what's it called? The stuff you want to dig out of the bottom of your fire before you do, that Roy always talks about before you do a forge weld. Now the word slag is stuck in my head. It's the wrong word though. But that's what's sitting on the anvil at the moment. Is one of the few pieces I've gotten out of this bag of coal. All right. Go. Heat it back up again, bend it over. All right. Good enough. Roll the tip back. Warm it up for the loop. Okay. clinker. Thank you. Yeah, see, and the style of this forge is there's no, grate. It's just a tweer with holes drilled every so many inches. There we go. Put a little bite in that accidentally because I was too far over onto the heel where I've got sharp corners. Oopsie. That'll be a weak spot down the road, but it's only a hook, so it shouldn't bite me in the end. Straighten it up. Get ready to loop it. I'm gonna loop. Yep, there it is. All right. We're going over here next. I think I'm going to do this though. A better view, I think, can be had from this side, as long as I don't get the camera in the way. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, and from that angle I won't have a problem with twisting and hitting the camera anymore either. So, no, tell me it didn't do it again. It did. Well, we know how to fix that. You've been not seeing a real image from the GoPro for a little bit. Hey, look at that. Yeah, I've still got a 50-pound bag here. Don't ask me to convert that. So I haven't finished working through the first 50 pounds. So I'm happy with that. The little stuff that I'm doing, unlike what Roy was saying, I don't have to have a lot of weight. I mean, a lot of fuel to do my work. And of course I'm going to have trouble, because why wouldn't I? Everything's in the way. There we go. Everything. Too small a shop. All right, there we go. Come on. Almost. It's almost perfect. I'm going to heat it up again just so I can get a nice completion of that bend. 2.2 pounds to the kilo, so 50, so 20, yeah, a little bit over 20 pounds, 21 pounds, or 21 kilos. You've got 3 times that. For me, that would last a while. Because the 21 kilos I got, the first 21 kilos I'm just getting down to the bottom of. But I don't work any big stuff. I only work for a couple hours a week, so it is sufficient. Nabbit. Geometry. All it takes is a, a basic understanding of geometry that I'm failing at miserably. I know why. Let's fix that. We'll bring that over there. We will bring that back into view just so I can see what kind of mess I made. There we go. I might leave it like that in the long run. Howdy, Stephen. This is not a corn-related channel. And if they had been looking, if the bot had been any good at it, it wouldn't have allowed the gent from last time to post those messages and get seen. Should have put that person in timeout. Not any of you fine folk. All right, that's better. Can I get it where I want it to be? Yes, now I can. And there's where the loop gets closed. Cool. Pull that off, cut it off. That's a move on to the bend. All right. Probably should have straightened that first. We'll see. Cutty tool. I miss my Stream Deck. Hunting for the mouse. There we go. Put that back in the fire so I can make the next one. Put down the cutty tool. Pick up the tongs. Back into the fire. Oh, so I did it the wrong direction. 50 pounds is 100 kilos. I went the other way around. There we go. It just feels comfortable in my hand is why. I don't need to, obviously. It's not like I'm moving anything at that point, but it's a comfortable hammer. Way up. That didn't end up the roundness I wanted. Let's open it back up and fix that. It's not vital that it's round, but Man, I wanted it round. That'll have to do. Good thing this one's for my shop. Okay, so I had it right the first time. Okay. Oh, that's funny. As simple as that, and it did that, and yet the last week's dude, that's frustrating. Technology, wouldn't it be great if it just did what you asked it to? Well, I have to admit, having the horn over on this side is proving to be nice. There we go. As Alex Steele says, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if you want it perfect, make it perfect. That's what I was looking for. Nice, nice, right? Much better than it was just 2 minutes ago. Let's make sure I haven't got it all twisted up too bad, but that won't matter because I'm about to put a twist in it. What am I doing? Forget that. All that really matters is drink. Grab it. There we go. Good. Back into the fire, give it a pretty twist. Grab this one. Get some start going here. Straightened out, it's ready for the next effort. Wow, how did that go from straight to bowed? It's like as I moved, I must have hit something. Big hammers are more fun. No, it's just a case of I mean, you guys can see them. Honestly, the one I should probably be using, maybe I'll switch to it. Let's see, show my hammer collection at this point. And we'll pull back. Nope, that's not back. That's back. Oh, good. We've hit the point when my Mac says it's time to go into stop motion animation. So that's my collection so far, and I think the reason I like this one so much is about the same reason I like this one. It's got more control, and for me, it has more control with the shorter handle. And I might cut back some of these other handles, and because I'm never holding them way out here anyway, so there's not a whole good reason to have long handles for me. I'm not choking up to the top. I'm not hitting it like, you know, trying to punch it or anything. This was one of the first the first hammer I bought was this one here, and it's perfectly fine, but it was not balanced well, all things considered. This one was great, but it didn't have the right facial features, so then I bought this one so that I could have the rounding on rounded face as well as the flat face. And so that was the one I would use the most for a little while. And it's really just a matter of what feels comfortable that I'm using which hammer. Unless there's a specific hammer need, you know, straight peen, cross peen, whatever it may be. But the one that I bought to try out, and I haven't given enough time with, is this Hoffy style hammer. But it's not even a Hoffy style hammer considering how long the handle is. So I don't know. So what I am determining is that this EcoFlow just cannot keep up with the charging needs of my Mac. I hope it's not goofing everything up so much for you guys, but it makes everything look really odd here. Yeah, for me, between the size of the hammer definitely made a big difference. I was using too heavy a hammer for a time that was giving me, you know, tennis elbow. But once I switched to just holding the hammer differently, instead of a, you know, a death grip on the hammer, a looser grip where it just basically rests in the between the fingers on the bottom and the palm of my hand, and then directed it with my fingers and thumb. That was the biggest thing I learned from watching Hoffy. If nothing more, that's what I learned from watching Hoffy, and it applies to any hammer I'm using. So. Uh-oh, things moved. All right, over here. Are we live? No, yes, yes, yes we are. Okay. And back into the fire because I didn't have it set up for twists anyway. The biggest difference between a newbie like me and the pros out there seems to be just realizing the order of events that they have to have things in, so they're not wasting time and fuel. Yeah, switching, oh, just wrapping it fixed it for you, huh? All right, that's good enough for, no it's not. Not once it comes out into the sun. And that hot piece just fell right out. Yeah, changing the grip is what fixed it for me. Now I'm back to a heavier hammer again. It doesn't bother me at all. But there's no real reason to have that heavier hammer other than it's just comfortable. It's great when I'm trying to move metal fast, even when it's, you know, only half inch metal down to quarter to eighth inch. Okay, around, around, and around. Line it up. Looks good. Done. Didn't twist where I wanted it to, though. Good thing it's going on mine and not somebody else's. The one thing you can't easily fix is a twist. You get the twist in the wrong place, it's like tough luck. Yeah, that was a really bad twist. Bring you into show. Really bad twist. I had things way too warm up here by the hook. and it just twisted mostly up by the hook. Oh well. It will do for securing my Smithy. Not going to throw it away. If I were to do anything, I would just keep on twisting, cool off that area. There we go. And that makes 3. I might be able to get one more done. There we go. Now that one can sit there and cook off. Put those in my pocket. I saw that at a Ren fair, mounting the barrel to yep, to a water barrel. You need a quench tank, right? Every smith does. So it made perfect sense to me, especially considering he was needing to be mobile, and I wasn't sure I needed to be not mobile myself. The one thing he's done that I haven't is he put a tap at the bottom. I'm still thinking about doing that myself. It could be useful. And that way he could just put a hose on the tap and drain it off wherever he wanted to drain it. But I was sitting there for, I don't know, I had gotten the post leg vise and sat there for a couple of weeks researching how do I want to mount this thing in a primitive smithy where I don't know where I'm going to want it to be in the long run. Yeah, I made that one a little longer than the others. No bigs. Okay. And I'd looked at things from welding up a brake drum to a post and then mounting it to that with a plate on top. That way I could roll it around. And then one day I just came across this. I was like, now that's absolutely perfect for what I need in this smithy. Yep, it's in there. Okay, where are we at? Uh-oh, lost my marking. Time to remark. Remarkable. There they are. Okay. Good, good. Nice and flat. Both ways. Time to loop. Yeah, Paul. I have dropped stuff. I have dropped stuff when it's really cold out here. The biggest thing is I learned to stop resting my twisting wrench on there, across it. Not really a big issue typically, but every now and then that would fall in, and I would have to roll up my sleeves and plunge my arm deep down in there to pull that back out. And that was annoying. So, you're not wrong. Close that up. There we go. A little bit more heat there. Finish it up. But it makes the perfect counterbalance. There's no way that that thing's walking on me as I try to do the work. So it actually worked out perfect for my need. There we go. Didn't take you on that journey this time. We'll go quench that off. And cut. And then that will be the end of this live stream. Time for me to finish building a new shed. Of course, I must have twisted this the opposite way this time because it's not giving me a nice angle to cut from. Dagnabbit. How did I manage to do that? Huh. That can't be possible that I twisted it differently. Might have to break out a hacksaw instead. Must be that I twisted it further. Let's see if I can get a straight angle here. And That should be good enough. Definitely not my better piece. Ah, and that would explain why it didn't want to make any sense. That was the dumbest move I've ever made. Oops. Well, that'll become a much shorter hook. Oh my goodness. Big dummy. I'll be straightening that out and making another hook out of it next time on Jack's Comedy of Errors. That is funny. Knew something was wrong about what I was doing. Just didn't make sense. All right, we'll set that aside for our next time. And it's time today to wish all you good people a great weekend filled with joy. Let's switch back over to this. Filled with joy, love, and light. Take care, everybody.